Hey, welcome to Front Row Promotions. How are you doing out there in music land? Welcome to the show and welcome to the show, Parker from Wings of Steel. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on this evening.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I noticed when I saw you guys on Facebook, and that's what I do. I'm like, wow, what is this band? I got to learn more about it. So, awesome. Hi, Candy. Welcome to the show. Our co-host there.
Hey everyone, sorry my camera has to be off because I'm a little bit under the weather tonight. So
We
I
just are so
apologize.
glad that you were here.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm very like Parker. I'm very happy to be here as well.
absolutely. So, Parker, tell us about Wings of Steel.
Um, well, I mean, in a nutshell, it's basically Leo and I. We both went to the same went to the same music school here in LA. We met back in 2019, and we were kind of like the only real like rocker dudes hanging out at that school. We both went there thinking there would be a lot. There wasn't really as many as we thought. So anyways, we crossed paths and like pretty instant we're like, okay, we're gonna start a band and started writing music. And I mean, pretty much since then it kind of just took off. And then eventually back in March of 2022 we put out our first release. If you can see behind me, it's the that one right there, the EP.
Yes.
um, and then last year in May we put out that one right there. This is where
Oh, okay.
we put out our full
You
length
guys have
album.
been busy for the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we pretty much spent all of COVID. We were kind of stuck inside, and we didn't really have anything else to do. So we just took the time and started writing a lot of music and really developed our sound. And Wings of Steel is pretty much just the natural progression of things after that,
Right.
to
Gotcha.
speak.
Well,
But
see, that's the thing with COVID. Everyone tends to see the negative, but honestly, there's a lot of bands and podcasters like myself and Lisa. It gave us a chance to hone our craft and get better, and put out some amazing content. So good for you guys.
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. So I just have to say, I just love the sound. I love everything about your music. I've been watching the videos all day, trying to, figure out which one is my favorite, but it's hard to pick because they're all so good. I do like the rhythm. What is it called? The rhythm of something. I can't remember now.
Was a Rhythm of Desire.
Yes, that's the one. I just love that. It's just it gets you going.
Lisa, tell them the name of the band. We were talking about this before the show. They sound a lot like who?
Queen's right. We
Mhm.
And
and uh oh,
Steelheart.
that's the one, Steelheart. With the vocals, the range, all it goes up so high. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds like this band. This sounds like that band. And together combination, if Queensryche and what's the name, Sandy? Candy?
Oh my God, you forgot my name again.
No, I'm having a really bad day with my sinuses and my head's just
I
out of.
tease. Now bend over and get your patty wax, okay? Steelheart.
Oh, put me back on track.
um,
Steelheart,
Parker.
Steelheart and Queensryche. If they both had a baby, that would be you.
Yeah,
There we go.
I mean those are great bands. We like those bands. I think, part of what makes our sound what it is it's like Leo, both personally and collectively, like we have a pretty wide range of influences, and we don't necessarily like to stick to one subgenre. Like, rock and metal music, there's so many different little like niches, and every band has its own thing, and it's like,
Yeah,
we don't really like to put ourselves into one of these like subcategories or anything like that.
sure.
We just want to write the music that we want to write, and that's really all it comes down to. So, and it's great too, because we get comparisons to a lot of a wide range of bands that we love. We get a lot of, Queensryche's a big one. We get a lot of Steelheart, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Crimson Glory is a big one people give us too. Like, I mean, it's Dio, Scorpions. I mean, there's a huge list of terrific bands that we love, and we get people tell us that our music kind of reminds them of us, our music, or whatever. But
Yeah.
Right,
you
right.
get the point.
So you
Yes.
mentioned that you and your musical partner there have a lot of different influences. Talk about some of those influences that sort of made you want to do what you do today.
Well, I mean, I think I can kind of answer that a little better by just explaining a little bit of the background how Leo and I both got into music. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, so Leo grew up, and has a great sense of music. He really loves like blues and a lot of classic hard rock and stuff like that. So when Leo was growing up, he was around that style of music a lot. So he was kind of into more of like the blues and like 70s hard rock, and then he gradually got into the heavier stuff. Whereas, me, my parents were not as they didn't have as big of a musical taste, so I wasn't really around. I kind of discovered stuff on my own. I actually
Mm.
the first two bands I discovered Journey when I was probably around like 8 or 9 years old. So I think
Ooh.
that's where a lot of my like melodic sense is rooted. And then when I was like 9, 10, I discovered Metallica, and that's where I got like the heaviness and the energy from.
Wow.
So we started from like a little bit different places musically, but I mean, most of the pretty much anything. If Leo likes the music, I like it too. We're pretty on the same page. But it's cool though, because we started from different places and we learned, we both do things a little bit differently and we hear things, and I think that actually helps us to create something larger than we could create on our own. I mean, that's part of the cool things about being in a band and working with other musicians. Uh,
Right.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool.
yeah, tell us about the writing styles that you both like collaborate with each other. Like, how's that?
I mean, like how do we go about like writing a song or something like that, or
Yeah. Like,
Right, like your
what's the
ideas to
process?
his ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing is that it's there's plenty of things that people will complain about that are not great about 2023 or 2024 in the day and age that we live in. But one of the great things is that we have phones here, and anytime you get an idea, which is pretty, I mean, most of the time, Leo's the same way. If I pick up a guitar and I start playing, like, I'll come up with riffs, I'll come up with little melodies or little cool stuff that I want to save. And instead of, this being, 30, 40 years ago, or maybe probably a little longer than that, before you had like easy ways to just record it, you'd have to like notate it out and write it. But now it's, if I get a good idea, I just record it on the phone, and then, um, it's generally like the really good ideas, they'll stick with you. Sometimes you forget about them, but either way, that's generally where the ideas start. um, and then it's pretty much a gradual process of it's almost like I don't look at music mathematically, but it's kind of like an algebra. You know one variable, but you don't know the other variables involved. But because you know that one variable, the rest is all in there. And that's kind of
Okay.
like what writing music is like, in a sense, where if we have one riff or we have one section or one idea, the whole entire rest of the song is kind of implied in that. Um,
Right.
Now it's not, I will say too, it's not like a clear cut, black and white process. Some songs it's just like it's there. Some songs, you come up with it and you start writing it and you're like, this isn't it, this isn't it. So you put it on the shelf, and then 6 months later you're like, boom, we got it. Um,
Awesome. Yeah.
it's a very it's not a clear cut process, but I think that's also part of the beauty of it. But yeah, so that's in
And
a nutshell. That's pretty much it.
and
Yeah.
and when you write, like, do you pull from your own personal lives? Do you pull from like current events? What's going on around you? Like, how
Good
does that work?
question.
hmm I mean, I think actually, whether you like it or not, and I think given the way that me and Leo write, we don't necessarily sit down and say like, okay, like we want to write this kind of a song in this way, and it has to be like this, and we don't approach it with any kind of restrictions or agenda or anything like that. We just kind of write what we're feeling, and ultimately, the music that we write, whether we realize it or not, is going to be reflective of where we're at in life when we're writing that music.
Right.
So inevitably, all kinds of stuff like that, it does make its way in there, and I think that's totally part of the beauty of it too. Um,
Right.
yeah,
So it's like sometimes you'll have the lyrics before you have the music. I mean the yeah
sometimes,
yeah
yeah, but yeah. So if we're thinking about like how we layer things, typically, sometimes we can start wherever. Sometimes, like if we have a drum idea, we'll start with the drums.
okay.
Neither
Mhm.
one. We write drum parts. We don't play the drums. So if we're doing a demo, basically we can write it in the computer, have it so that we have like a reference. And
Okay,
then when we go into the studio, we have obviously we have the drummer play it so it sounds right. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, like it's the drums or the bass or usually it's the guitar because a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff that we write it's guitar based or it's like I had a riff or I had a something. So we come up with that and then generally we'll put the guitars and bass and drums in there and then we'll put the vocals on top of that. But the thing is that sometimes, Leo has a really great vocal idea or there's like a lead guitar melody or something like that. And then the rhythm section and everything else gets built around that. So I would say to answer it, more straight on, typically we do put, guitars, bass, and drums down and then the vocals, but um, not always.
Have you ever butted heads like, no, I strictly don't want that? Or like, do you like, well, I like this? So, have you ever had that kind of
I mean,
issue?
inevitably there'll be some things where I'm stoked on it, and he's like, well, it's cool, but I can't really sing over this. Or if I'm the same way, he writes something, but I'm like, you know what, from the guitar perspective, it's not, quite what I would. But the thing is that we're pretty good about, we can find common ground, and typically when we run into issues like that in spots where we don't agree, those actually turn out to be some of the like best moments in the song.
Awesome. Very cool.
Um, yeah, it's not we're two that's part of the beauty of being two different people. If when I'm just writing music on my own, it's pretty, at least in terms of what I want to do with the music, unless I can't figure it out, I'm pretty black and white, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Right.
When you're working with somebody else, that's part of the beauty of how you're able to expand beyond, is you're not always doing everything exactly the way that you would have done it. um,
Right.
there's certain things that he's doing the way that, but in a sense, it's also like you're both kind of coming together and you're creating
Mhm.
something bigger. So,
Right.
Awesome. Very cool. Very
mhm.
cool.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
um, I mean, I think like I'd been to like smaller shows and seen like smaller bands and cover bands ever since I was like, really young. So I don't really know what that was, but like the first big concert I saw was I think that was Motley Crue, Alice Cooper in 2015
Ooh.
at the Honda Center. It was supposed to be their
Ooh.
second to last show, actually.
Woo! Alice Cooper. Go ahead, Candy.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
No, every time somebody mentions Alice Cooper in the
Like
show,
ding 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 ding
yeah,
ding.
because I was actually a stage actress for 3 years for an Alice Cooper tribute band
oh, nice.
back in, I want to say, 2013. Yeah, 2013.
Mhm.
And I
Cool. Yeah,
was doing it for about 3 years. It was fun.
nice. But yeah, so actually, I was saying though too. So actually, before that, when I was 12 years old, my parents got me tickets to see Dave Mustaine playing with the San Diego Philharmonic Symphony.
No,
So
that's
I
so
thought
cool.
I thought it would, because I know like a lot of great big bands, they'll do shows with the symphony and they're playing like their music, but
Yeah.
it was really just Dave Mustaine playing classical music. And me being a 12-year-old kid, I just discovered like Megadeth. I was a little bit, I don't think I was old enough to quite appreciate it yet. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I
Yeah,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, it was cool that I saw that. And it was a cool thing.
Yeah. It's like,
I
what's
was
this about?
expecting
What?
Megadeth. So but,
I love it. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you. So what places have you played?
so well with Wings of Steel, I mean, I've played in several different bands, throughout my span as a guitar player. But with Wings of Steel, because of our current geographical situation with Leo being from Sweden, I'm here in the U.S., and visa restrictions and stuff like that. Leo's basically only able to come out to the U.S. for 90 days at a time until we
Oh,
can.
okay.
Oh
We
wow.
have to get him like a full artist visa, and it's a legal process, and it costs lots of money. So we're gonna do it soon, but
Okay.
up
And
until
that's
that
a
point,
process in itself.
we've been
Wow.
limited with how much time we have. So we've actually only done 3 live shows with Wings of Steel. They've all been here in LA.
Hmm.
But later this year, we have some big plans. We're going to be heading over to Europe from April through pretty much end of May, early June, and then hopefully we're still looking around for options, but we're going to be doing the U.S. sometime later in the year. So
Yes,
it'll be
yes.
good.
Let me know when you come to US. I can hook you up with some venues. So
Awesome.
yes.
Mhm.
And
No, I
the same thing with Canada, Parker. I'm actually up in Toronto, Canada right now.
oh cool, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the thing is, it's like from the perspective of being in a band, I mean, I love writing the music and I love doing all that stuff. But I mean, I think when you're a little kid and you think about, okay, I want to be a musician. Like you think about going out on tour and going on stage and like playing and performing it live. Like that's the best part. So we're
Yeah.
super, it's been hard, that I mean, we got to work with what we got to do and go with what we can. But I mean, we're super, super eager to get out there and finally play some live shows for everybody because we've been building this thing up since we put out our debut back in March of 2022 and hardly been able to play live. So,
Oh, well, I'm
but
telling you, you absolutely have a wonderful sound. I was wanting to play a video of yours to show everybody this is what we do, but I have to work on my sound because Candy was saying that it was just not coming through right. So, what does it sound like? It's like it's coming through the tunnel or something like that. It's all
It sounds like it's a speaker being played underwater. It just sounds like it's yeah. It just doesn't sound right.
we don't want to show everybody that. So once I get this organized, because we always do this, we always play your song, a video or two, and we like to have everybody see what we see in you guys. So until we get that organ fixed and stuff organized, and then we'll play you, and you
So so
also can come back on the show, and we'll do that again.
mhm.
yeah.
Cool.
So you guys haven't performed live as Wings of Steel yet? Is that correct?
No, we have performed live, and we have full footage up on our YouTube from our last show that was at the Whiskey back in July.
The whiskey
Um,
go.
Risky go go,
but
yeah.
we but
Yeah.
we've only played live as Wings of Steel 3 times. So our first show was back in
Oh.
2022 at the Whiskey, and then we did a release party show at the Viper Room the day after our last album Gates of Twilight came out back in May, and
Yeah.
then our last show was a headline show at the Whiskey A Go Go on July 5th of last
I
year.
mean, the whiskey and the Viper Room, those are two huge venues for music. That's amazing.
Well, they have a huge reputation. If you go on, they're not like huge venues, but but
Well,
but
I don't mean
reputation wise,
huge.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't mean
Right.
huge as in sizable. I mean huge
Mhm.
as in, yeah, you're right. They have a huge reputation.
But
Size matters too, but no, that's for another day. Walked into that one.
So,
Lisa, go for it.
oh, what place would you have like on your mind? Like, I guess what you would say, like on your bucket list of we have to play this place. We've got to play here. What place would that be?
I mean, that's a good question. There's a lot of I feel like there's a lot we want to play in every corner of the world that we can. I mean, I think if we zoom out a little bit, like I mean, what Leo and I want to do with the band is ultimately, it's our passion project, and we're doing what we love, and we want to share that with as many people as possible. And I mean,
Absolutely.
we love all these, huge bands that do these big shows in huge arenas and stuff. I mean, one day we would love to do that too, because I think that's a really incredible experience to get to have. But I mean, as far as specific venues, there's I can't really think there isn't like one place. I know the cliches. Everyone's, oh, we got to play Madison Square Garden and all that. We don't really have like one venue like that per se. But I mean, there's a lot of places that we want to go and play. I mean, we don't have anything like cold hard confirmed yet, but in 2025 actually there's a lot of like really huge famous rock and metal festivals over in Europe.
Nice.
Wacken Open Air and
Oh
Hellfest
yeah.
and Sweden Rock, and I mean there's a long laundry list of all these great festivals. I think that would be a really cool experience to go and play there.
Oh,
So hopefully, I think 2025 we will very likely be going over and doing that, but it's not confirmed yet. So you know,
very, very cool. So, what does it mean to you to be a musician? Like, what's your, um, what does it mean to you?
um, I mean, I think it's really just an expressional thing, really. Uh, this is I mean, it's you can extend it out to who you are as a person. Really, you just kind of we're all like apples on a tree. We all grow the way we grow, and we are the way we are. I think
Absolutely.
some of us just become musicians, and that is what it is. I mean, there isn't a cold hard reason why I became a musician. I mean, I love music, and that's like my passion. That's pretty much it.
That's
Um,
a perfect answer. I love it.
but
Follow your passion. Absolutely.
I think that's all it really is. So, and I think if you are passionate about music and you love playing music, it doesn't necessarily, we don't have to get caught up in like the societal thing. Oh, it needs to be your job title or whatever. Like no, it's like you don't need to spend all your life being a musician and working not to enjoy music. I think music is like one of the things in the world that it's a universal language.
Oh yeah.
It transcends English and Spanish and German and all these. It's just music. It speaks to everybody. And I think that it's probably the most widely understood or spoken language that humanity has. I think that's
Even when you
beautiful.
don't understand what the hell they're saying, like Rammstein, they're one of my favorite bands, and half the songs I got no darn clue what they're saying.
Music is not. I mean, the lyrics are all absolutely a huge. There's a lot of depth and there's a lot of meaning that you can find in songs with the lyrics, but
Yep,
the lyrics are just one instrument in the band.
exactly.
I think if you ask me, I mean, I think this is also a thing that affects what kind of instruments people play.
Hmm.
Um, but when I hear music, the first thing I hear the overall atmosphere of the entire song, the entire sound, what I'm hearing. And then I'll hear the guitars, and then I'll hear the vocals and the bass. And I mean, because I've been writing music with Leo for so long, and I know like I can when you can produce music, you know how to pick apart. You can hear every single thing that's happening. But just
Yeah.
when I listen to music, that's kind of what happens. And I think everybody, I mean, if you're a bass player, a lot of times when a bass player listens to music, the first thing they're going to hear is the bass, just because that's what they gravitate to for whatever reason. Um,
Right.
but point being, lyrics are super important, but it's not it's only one layer in the band. Um,
That is true. There's so many different other angles of it.
mhm.
Yeah. So
Not to
Absolutely.
downplay the importance of. I know Leo's not here, but not to downplay the importance. Vocals are extremely important. They're extraordinarily important. But
So who would you want to collaborate with? Like, if you could go on tour and you had like another band to go with, who would that be?
I mean, there's a lot of really great bands out there. And not, the big ones. It's a no brainer. We want to go on tour with Metallica. We want to go on tour with Iron Maiden, the Scorpions, Judas Priest. All these huge legacy bands that we love. It would be fucking awesome to go and tour with them. But I mean, there's a lot of lesser known, newer bands that haven't got as much attention. Like, there's a lot of really great bands out there, and I think if
Oh
it's
yeah.
good, they're good dudes and it's good music. I'm sure it'd be awesome to go and share the stage with them and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Um, who would you pick as your Mount Rushmore musicians? Like, if you could put four guys or girls up there, who would they be?
I mean, this is always a tough question because there's, in the same light as our music, there's a lot of little influences that go in, and I mean, I think depending on what side of my body I woke up this morning, I might give you a different answer. Just because it changes. There's a lot of different guys out there that are fucking amazing. So do you want? Okay, let me ask you this: do you want like the guitar player answer, or do you want like the band answer?
Whatever comes to your mind.
Whoever
If
you
you could
want
put,
to put
hey
on
man,
there.
you could put four singers up there for all I care.
Hmm.
I mean, heck, half of the ones I would put up there are singers. So there you go.
I'll do the band answer. Then. I'll do the band. So I really like there's this band called Blue Murder.
Oh yeah, heard of them.
Hmm. Yep.
They're fucking terrific. I love them.
Very
Um,
cool.
let's go with them. I think today we'll go with let's go with Rainbow. Rainbow's a great band.
Ooh, I
You
love
know,
Yes.
Rainbow.
classic.
Absolute. Hmm.
Let's go
They
with
they did a they did a really good cover of. I'm sure you've seen the movie Rockstar, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah, they did a really good cover of "We All Die Young." Oh,
mm-hmm,
I love it.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so we got Rainbow. And then let's do. I'll go. I'll do the people's choices. I'll do Metallica, and then I'll do Iron Maiden.
Love it.
There's
Love
plenty. There's a lot more niche ones in there too, but I think I'll stick to those four today.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it could change next week. Come back in the show next week. You might
Yeah,
have
yeah, I'll
There
give
different.
you
you I'll
go.
give you four completely different bands, but
Yeah,
We'll see what happens next week.
mhm.
that's awesome. Um,
So, mhm.
we'll go back to a question that Lisa asked, and we'll sort of tweak it a little bit. What is on your bucket list? It could be anything, musically in your personal life. Like what is at the top of your bucket list?
I mean, I think I'm a simple person. I just want to go. I mean, kind of what I was saying earlier. It's I want to continue to write the music I love and share it and play it for as many people all around the world as I can. I think fundamentally, in the grants, there's all these like little specifics I would love to like. I would love to go get some more tattoos and buy a nice pair of custom leather pants and go travel to some cool places in the world. And I'm sure I'll be able to do that at some point in life. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I saw the tattoos.
yeah,
That's really cool. What's
yeah.
your
There.
Yes.
favorite tattoo that you have?
Well, to be honest with you, this is all this one in here. This is like pretty much all I have. But it's actually so the guy who does our album artwork, he's a tattoo artist out here where I live in
Oh
Thousand
wow.
Oaks. So inevitably after he was doing our album artwork, yeah, I had to go get some work done. See, I have the horse here, and then
Oh, yeah.
kind of hard to see in this light, but I got this big snake thing, and but yeah. So that's Mr. Spencer Caligiuri. He's a tattoo artist at Direwolf Tattoo in Thousand Oaks. So
Very cool. Very
awesome, dude.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Lisa?
If someone was just starting out in the rock and roll world in the business and they want to become like what you're doing, what advice would you give them?
Um, I mean, whatever. Keep focus on the passion. Do what you love. Don't get caught up in all the traps of thinking you have to be a certain way or sound a certain way or do things a certain way in order to be successful, because that's bullshit. And even if you do that thing and you do get successful, it's not going to be worth it. Um, I think ultimately it's all about just doing what you love, and the rest will fall into place when you do that. I will also say, from a business standpoint, um, you know, pay attention to, there's going to be a lot of people that offer you stuff. Uh, be very careful and cautious about what certain agreements you get into, because the music business is notorious for ripping artists off. So
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
little word of advice. I mean, I'm not, I'm not sending this to anybody or anything. There's a lot. The music industry is filled with some of the most amazing people on this planet, but there's also, on the business side of things, sometimes it can get a little shady. So just be careful. Just signing a deal or entering into agreement or starting to work with some person, it's not going to change your career like that overnight. Realistically, there isn't the fantasy that they sell you where, oh, we got a big record deal and then we were fucking famous overnight. That's just not that's not a reality.
Yeah.
And yeah, so don't plan your life around that. Build it up and do things one step at a time. Don't sit around waiting to win the lottery. If you're gonna win the lottery, it's not gonna matter, and if you win the lottery after you've been stepping up, you're gonna be in a much better spot anyway. So
Right.
don't expect it, but
That's really cool.
hopefully that's decent advice. I tried.
Absolutely. Yes.
No,
I like that.
that's really solid advice. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Lisa, do you want to do some fun questions?
Yeah, let's get off topic and do some of those. You can go ahead and start with your question.
Okay, so this is kind of like a running joke that we have here on the show.
Oh no. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
here we go.
so we argue about this all the time. We get many different answers. Parker, Coke or Pepsi? What do you prefer?
I think I drink much more. I've had much more Coke than Pepsi in my day, so I'm gonna go with Coke. But I do not feel too passionately about one or the other.
Okay, I'll take that because I'm a Coke. My favorite's Coke. She likes Pepsi.
I'm Pepsi.
So just the mere fact that you drank more Coke than Pepsi, I'll take that.
Okay, it's okay. I'll let you slide this time.
Just like every other time somebody picks Coke. Oh,
I know we had like a whole band on, and they all picked Coke. I'm like, really, guys? Really?
it's
But
okay because I was kind of shot down back in March. Remember we interviewed Eddie Ojeda?
Yes.
And what did he pick?
Pepsi.
He did.
I mean, if I woke up on the other side of the bed, I might have picked Pepsi. I'm not.
There you go.
I'm not too. I'm not too pungent on my answer there, but.
Now we joke about it. It's been
it's just a running.
Yeah.
We have to know who like the challenge of what would you pick,
Lisa, go and ask your question.
Oh, okay. So if you were in a hot tub time machine and you're setting the dial to go wherever you want to go, where are you gonna go?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go to Munich, Germany in 1977. I'm gonna watch Rainbow live.
Ooh,
that live is like probably one of my favorite live things ever recorded.
Nice.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. I'll go with that.
Awesome.
There's many beautiful points in history, but I think I'll go there.
Very cool.
So I usually take this one step further. Parker, who would you have in the hot tub with you?
I don't know. There's some. I like me, myself, and I, and just have the whole thing to myself, and it's all good.
There you go.
You know what? I respect that because I'm the same way. You enjoy your own company, love yourself. Otherwise, who else is going to love you and want to spend time and be around you?
That's the thing. You gotta love yourself first, and then you can be open to let others love you.
Exactly.
That is very true.
Good stuff.
I mean, if it's if there's a cool person, and it's all good. It's all. I don't mind.
Right.
Like if it was a rock star crush, who would you bring with you?
I don't know. That's kind of a tough question. I mean, I don't know. Whoever also really likes Rainbow and wants to see that show. I mean, I'd take Leo with me, man. He's like my brother. I'll take him. He loves that show.
There you go.
There we go.
Very cool. Lisa, keep it going.
Okay. You want to ask your question?
Okay. I actually haven't asked this one in a while.
Yeah.
Right. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what 5 items would you want to bring with you?
Ooh.
And we used to be 3, but it got very difficult for our guests to pick. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do 5 then. So 5.
I don't want to get too buried in the technicality of this question, but so how how like desert island is this? Is there any natural resource on this island like whatsoever, or is it literally just a pile of sand in the middle of the ocean?
Pile of sand in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. Oh,
And you
okay.
could go,
Cool.
you could go like basic necessities or whatever the hell you want to bring with you. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, I mean, here's the thing: if I don't bring a supply of drinking water, I'm gonna die. So I kind of need that. I'd probably uh get like a fishing pole or something.
Hmm.
If I'm on an
Yeah.
island, that's where the food's gonna be. Um, I'll probably bring one of my guitars to keep me somewhat sane.
Yep.
Um, and then 4 and 5. I don't know. Am I naked or do I get to show up with clothes on?
Oh, whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I mean, if nobody's on the island, might as well just be naked anyways.
That's true. Be comfortable,
Um, so I got 2 more things.
Yeah, but what happens if you're naked and afraid? Then what?
Well, if I'm the only person on the island, what do I have to be afraid of? And if I found myself on this island anyway, it's like, all right, how long are we gonna make it anyways? So
Shoot.
I don't know. I'll probably bring a pair of sunglasses. That'd be cool. Um, hmm.
Prance around naked with a pair of sunglasses. That's
Yeah, so
great.
I'm chilling there with my sunglasses. I got my acoustic guitar. I got my fishing pole. I'm naked.
You got your water. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got drinking water, so I'm chilling there.
Oh my god.
I don't know what else. What's one more thing?
I would probably, if it was me, I'd bring a solar powered phone with me so I could order DoorDash and have them deliver it.
That's
by
kind of
phone.
like that's kind of like a I don't know. I feel like that's a cheat answer. It's like they hear the thing. The genie gives you 3 wishes, right? And then the first wish is that you wish for infinite wishes. I feel like you're kind of cheating the scenario a little bit, but if that's on the table, then I'll pick
It
that.
could be
And I
anything,
can just
like I
call
said.
I can just call the Coast Guard and be like, yo, come pick me up. And I can show there. I'll be showing there naked with my sunglasses on, the guitar, and they'll show like, oh wow, look at this guy. How do you get there? But
This is why I love this question, right? It's because it could go in so many different directions.
Right. Yeah. Depends on what you want to bring there, what's already there, Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think about stuff like that often. I'll have to come more prepared.
Well, in everyday life, I wouldn't think about it either. But what are outside of music? Here, let's go with this question. Outside of music, what are some of your hobbies?
I mean, I do really spend most of my waking time with music, but I mean, as me and Leo say, when we're not playing heavy metal, we're lifting it. I love like every day or almost every day. I pretty much go to the gym. I love working out. Yeah, I like going for a walk. I like being outside. Um, I like good food. I like cooking sometimes. Um, yeah, I'm a pretty simple person.
And if you like food, if you like cooking, like if you could cook anything right now, right at this very moment, what would it be?
I mean, I just ate like an hour ago, so I'm not really that hungry. But
What you make?
I had chicken. I just made like a little chicken burrito. With some chicken, some
Nice.
rice, some sour cream, salsa. Put
That
a little
sounds
honey on the
good.
chicken too. That was really good.
Oh,
I like sweet and savory stuff.
yes.
I love
Yes.
barbecue. I love sauces. I love stuff like that.
Awesome.
I'm not a vegan. I very much love eating meat, but
But it's got to be sweet and savory.
well, not. I mean, that's just one. That's one flavor. There's many
How
ways.
about hot wings? You like hot wings?
Hot wings are good. Yeah.
Yes. With a cold beer next to it.
To be honest with you, it's actually I don't really I mean I like whiskey and I like nice wine, nice beer, but I don't really drink that much anymore. I
That's
think that's
good.
kind of that's like a cultural or I think people look at me and they say, oh yeah, I bet this guy's taking out a bottle of Jack Daniels every day when he wakes up.
Oh,
Like I've had like maybe I don't know. I have like maybe 1 or 2 drinks every month, if that.
Mhm.
I'm very I don't know. I just don't really drink that much.
I
But
don't feel the need to have to drink. I mean, I'm, high on life. So, and it sounds
totally.
like you are too. And, you don't need to, really don't need to drink. It affects your body real bad. And,
Mhm.
so it's not
Well,
good
I
for you.
think part of it, I like working out so much, and you can't have a good workout when you're hungover, and you
That
know,
is true. That is true.
so. But
Hmm.
That's awesome. Lisa, keep it going.
Um, let's see. Trying to think of our other questions here. I'm running out. Oh my God. I'm running out.
Okay, you know what? Here, I got one for you.
Okay.
So the three shows that you've done, the whiskey, the Viper, and then back at the whiskey, did you have any like funny fan interactions that you can share with us?
um, okay, so the Viper Room show.
Uh
This is a
oh.
good question. Yeah, yeah. The Viper Room show. We had this guy come to the show. Um, and he's actually he basically what he told us is he had just discovered our band like the day previously, and he
Really?
was he was like so stoked. It was incredible. Like he came, he had like this white hat, and like we weren't really selling any hats at the time, but so like he drew like our logo on the hat, and he
Oh
showed up.
wow.
He's like rocking this hat, and he's got
Oh,
like his
that's so
GoPro,
cool.
and he he goes into I guess the Viper Room had like a no filming photography policy or whatever. So he's going and filming, and then the security guys are like, hey, you can't film, so now he just like puts it down, and like he filmed the whole show on his GoPro, and he's like stoked, the whole time. It's on YouTube. It got a couple hundred views. We're like, oh wow, people are.
Oh, so cool.
But yeah, but like yeah, he's there, and he's stoked. He's like, yeah, the whole time, and that was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see. He's a really good dude, actually. Um,
Oh,
but
so
yeah, so
cool.
that was kind of a fun thing. It was cool to see. Uh,
Right. I
yeah,
really like the art that for your album cover and everything. So you said he's a
He's a
uh,
tattoo artist.
tattoo
yeah,
artist. Yeah,
the
thank
tattoo
you.
artist out here. Yeah, I mean
That's
that was pretty cool. When me and Leo we were putting together everything for the first EP. We were kind of just like we kind of had the idea, but neither Leo and I have like I mean I have like the drawing skills of like a fucking kindergartner or whatever. Like it's just
like the stick people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just never, my talents manifested elsewhere, So but we had this idea for this album cover. So we pretty much, we were looking around and we were thinking, instead of trying to dig through the internet and find somebody, it's like, there's a lot of tattoo artists and there's a lot of people like that. Like, why don't we just try to find somebody local who'd be, who can sit down and we can like talk to them and be like, yo, can you do this? And that's pretty much, we met Spencer, we hit him up and he was stoked to do it. We just told him like, hey, okay, this is what we have in mind, and then like boom, draw it, and that was that.
Wow.
So
Like some people just have the knack for it. They can do it. Like my daughter, she does. I don't know if you can see the wall back here.
mhm.
I don't know. Well, that's not. I'm not going up the right way. Well, I got it blocked with my front row page, but she does like cartoons, like
Oh, cool.
the cartoon characters. Like she has Arnold all on this wall, and up on the stairs going up in between is like Scream and like all different kind of characters, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, whatever she has the feeling of drawing, but she just draw that. And I was like, oh well, the next person you have to draw is Art, the clown. And it's just she's gonna try that one too to do. So so
Cool.
yeah, so she likes to do that. So some people have the knack. I try. It doesn't come out like that. So I don't know where she gets this, but maybe it's just all built in within her. So
I mean, I do think that everybody, human beings are inherent, we are inherently creative, we're inherently artistic, and I think everybody has their, have their own ways and mediums for their creativity.
absolutely.
I think that's really cool.
And that's why I do what I do. with this show with Lisa, and I also have another podcast that I do called A Handful of Candy, and I just love it. I get to express myself through the music that I play, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, It's a beautiful thing.
Music touches the soul and in many different ways. It sure
Yeah,
does.
absolutely. All right, so we're kind of running out of time here, Parker. Um, so the album, you have a new one coming out. You have a new one that you're working on.
Well, we do, but we haven't begun any of the promotion or anything for it. We haven't even started officially writing it yet. So that's
Okay.
um, pretty much our schedule for the band right now is we're gonna go in the spring. I'm gonna head over to Europe and we're gonna do our tour over there, and then sometime in the second half of the year we're gonna do the U.S. tour, and then we're gonna begin the production on Wings of Steel #3. So that realistically, this album won't be. You probably won't be hearing anything about it until 2025. But
Then
yes,
we'll have
there
you
is.
back on the show.
But there is Wings of Steel #3 on the way. So
Awesome.
Now
Mhm.
the tour you mentioned, the U.S. tour, and then the tour in you said Europe. You're going to Europe.
hmm yep.
Is it just like a handful of shows, like an East Coast or West Coast run, or are you doing like a full on tour?
For the U.S., we really would like to do a full on tour because
Awesome.
I mean, especially here on the West Coast, even though we definitely have fans out here too, it's a little bit of an island and everything's kind of far apart. But when we look at where we're selling a lot of CDs and where a lot of our fans are at, it's all in the Midwest and on the East Coast. So
Gotcha.
we really want to try to get out there. But I mean, it's also a thing too where we are an independent band. We're pretty much starting from scratch with a lot of this stuff. So it's we have to see what opportunities comes our way and basically go with the best thing that we can get. Um, but yeah, I mean, if we can, we want to get to all corners of the country, because
Awesome.
yeah, but but yeah, and as soon as all this stuff starts getting scheduled and starts getting announced, if you're following us on our Facebook page or on our Instagram page, you will be, or you're on our mailing list on our website. Actually, we'll be posting updates there, so you'll be up to date. And if we're coming to a town near you, you'll know about it. So
And that was going to be my next
Absolutely.
question. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Can you plug your socials and your website?
yes, so our website, and actually on our website, that's where you can buy. We have T-shirts, we have our vinyls that just came out, and then we have CDs for both of our releases. But our website is wingsofsteelband.com.
Nice.
And then in terms of social media, we're on Instagram at Wings of Steel Band, and then we are on Facebook at I think it's just Wings of Steel. Um, and then we got YouTube as well, and Bandcamp. Both of those are Wings of Steel. So yeah. And
I
then
forgot to
actually,
ask.
real quick too,
Mhm.
if you are into digital and all that streaming, you can
Mhm.
find our music on basically every streaming site that's out there. Spotify,
Awesome.
Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon, Tidal, Deezer, wherever you're listening to it, it should be there. So yeah.
Sweet. I forgot to ask the most important question I always ask. I don't know how I forgot. The name of the band. Can you tell
Oh my
us
gosh.
the
If you
Okay.
haven't if you haven't figured it out already yet, the name of the
I,
band is Wings of Steel.
No, no,
I
like
mean,
where
like what's it
how
about?
did
Where
that
how did it come about?
Oh, I mean, it's a funny story. Me and because ever since me and Leo had met, we started writing music together. We're like, what the hell are we gonna call our band name? And it was kind of a hard thing because like you know unless you wanted a band name that was like 3 or 4 words long and it was super like everything was like taken or was used or it was something so like and it was just such a hard thing because the way we approached it, we're like, how do we describe our music with words? It's like you can't describe your music with 2 words. That's a fool's errand. You just gotta find a name that sounds cool and you gotta pick it. So
Right.
so inevitably, I mean, we spent like over a year trying to find the name. So pretty much the way it happened is So we actually, so the song Wings of Steel, we were writing that song. And usually when we write a song, like we'll pick like a little like working title for it or whatever, kind of based off the lyrics or whatever's there initially. So initially, Leo wanted to call the song "Shoot to Thrill" because that's like a recurring like vocal thing that happens a few times in the song. But I was like, well, that's like an AC/DC song, and I don't know. So we're reading through the lyrics, and I was like, maybe we should call it "Wings of Steel" because he drops "Wings of Steel" like towards at the last outro part of the song. So we're like, yeah, let's call it that, And then I don't remember, like a few days later, we're out going for a walk or whatever, and he's just like, Wings of Steel is a pretty cool band name. We should just call the band that. And I kind of sat with it for. I was like, and then I was like, yeah, that's it. And then
Awesome.
there we had it. So
I love it.
It's
It
beautiful.
sounds great. Yes.
Like many things in life, you spend all, we spent all this time before. We did all kinds of shit trying to figure out a band name. It was just no dice. We could not find something, and then, lo and behold, it just showed up like that. So
it just came to you like that. Yep, that's perfect. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so again, we are pretty much out of time. I'm going to hand it back over to Lisa in a second. Anything final from you, Parker? Any shout outs you want to give? Anyone you want to say hi to?
I think we covered most of it, but I mean, I will just say all of our fans out there watching, all of us who have supported us previously, who are commenting on our Instagram and Facebook posts, who've purchased vinyl or CD, who came to see our shows or who will be coming to see some of our shows. Thank you from a million thanks. Seriously, much love and heart, and I can't do it with my hand, but seriously, it means you guys are like what keeps this thing going. It's we're an independent band. I'm here. I live with my parents. We don't have a lot of money to do this stuff. It's just it's a passion project, and it's thanks to the support of our audience that like we're able to do stuff, and we're gonna be able to continue doing stuff. And I think that's just we are forever grateful. So again, seriously, a million thanks. And yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Now, before I hand it back over to Lisa, Parker, when we go offline, if you don't mind, stay online with us because I have another little project that I want to run by you.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lisa.
Sounds good. All right. Again, thank you again for coming to Front Row Promotions, and you are more than welcome to come back. You can bring some more bandmates with you if you'd like, and we always encourage you, if you guys can, play something for us. If you want to bring your guitar and play us something, if that's possible. But if not, that's okay, and hopefully I'll have the sound fixed so we can play your videos. So we can show everybody what you do and why you are so awesome and your Wings of Steel. I mean, that just explains the band.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yes. So thanks again. And you're more than welcome. Come back, and we love you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks again for having me on.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you out there for those of you who tuned in and watched and everything. So always support live music in the making, music everywhere. Front Row Promotions. Bye now.